7 Early Symptoms of Diabetes, Warning Signs for High Blood Sugar, Diabetes on the Horizon. Hello, are your blood sugar levels normal or higher than usual? Today, I'll talk about the 7 warning signs that indicate you may have diabetes. And why is it important to understand more about this type of disease? Simply because every 10 seconds, someone in the world dies due to diabetes complications. Every year, 3.5 million people die from diabetes worldwide, and it is estimated that this number could increase by 25% in the next decade. So, stay tuned. I will divide this video into 2 parts. In the first part, I will talk about the 10 early signs and symptoms of diabetes, those you can see or feel, the warning signs. And in the second part, which I consider the most important, I will talk about prevention, some measures that can reduce your risk of developing diabetes, what habits you should follow and what foods you should consume to avoid this disease. But first, like the video because the more people like the video, the more YouTube will spread it to people who do not have access to doctors or hospitals and need this information, so also share the video with your friends and family. With your help, many lives can be saved. So don't worry, share. And tell me, do you have prediabetes, diabetes, or do you know someone who suffers from it? From which part of Brazil or the world are you? Write it down. Let's go. In which 7 warning signs should you pay attention to know if your blood sugar levels may be higher than normal? 7. Symptom: frequent urination. Are you urinating a lot? Did you know that the word diabetes comes from Greek and means siphon, that is, excessive, uncontrollable urination? Mellitus comes from Latin and means honey, as doctors used to taste urine to check if it had a sweet taste. So much so that people with uncontrolled diabetes can attract ants to the toilet when urinating. This happens because the sugar in your urine is eliminated by the kidneys. Your body simply cannot process sugar properly and excretes it in the urine. And urinating with sugar dehydrates the person because glucose removes water, causing osmotic diuresis. That's why diabetics also feel excessive thirst. The mouth is dry, the throat is dry because they are eliminating sugar in the urine and becoming dehydrated. Peeing a lot and drinking a lot of water are classic symptoms of diabetes to watch out for. 6. Symptom: fatigue and tiredness. It's not the common tiredness from a bad night's sleep. On the contrary, sometimes you sleep well and feel constant fatigue. This can be a symptom of diabetes. According to the American Diabetes Society, over 60% of people newly diagnosed with type 2 diabetes suffer from excessive fatigue. It is simply the second most common symptom of diabetes. This is related to the relative lack of sugar in the cells and excess sugar in the blood. In other words, sugar does not adequately reach the cells, and they run out of energy, leading to fatigue and exhaustion. 5. Sign: skin changes. Pay attention to your skin. There are 2 main changes you should pay attention to. The first is called acanthosis nigricans. This involves dark spots on the skin, which mainly form in the folds of the neck, armpits, or groin and can be soft and velvety. Take a look at your neck or under your armpits. Is the skin darker than normal? It's not dirt. It's a sign of insulin resistance. Acanthosis nigricans tells me that there is a high probability of developing diabetes or already having diabetes in the future. Why does this happen? As mentioned, in prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, your body often produces excess insulin. And this excess insulin causes normal skin cells to divide more rapidly. In people with darker skin, these new cells contain more melanin, and it is this increase in melanin that causes the spots on the skin. And the second changes you should pay attention to are these wart-like lesions. Acrocordons. Where do they appear? On the neck, under the arm, in the groin, where these darker spots appear on the skin. This is also related to insulin resistance. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, good control of your blood sugar levels prevents the appearance of these fibroepithelial polyps. Many people find these polyps ugly. Symptom: tingling and burning. Do you feel burning or pain in your feet and hands? Did you know that diabetes and prediabetes are the most common cause of burning feet? Yes, elevated glucose levels affect the nerves and cause diabetic neuropathy. And almost half of all diabetics suffer from diabetic neuropathy. The numbness starts in the feet and usually shows a boot-like pattern, spreading from the toes to the legs. Interestingly, when the numbness reaches halfway up the calf, it also affects the fingers and hands. If you have these tingling feet and are diabetic, I've made a video about vitamins for diabetics, the link I'll leave at the end of the video. And be careful, if high glucose levels damage a nerve, it will also affect your vision and kidneys. And if you are male, This nerve damage can lead to impotence. I know that the burning sensation in the feet and numbness is uncomfortable and painful, but it can be a warning sign that your body is suffering. Symptom: frequent infections and inflammations. If blood sugar levels are not well controlled, it can affect the immune system and your body's defenses, increasing the risk of infections and inflammations. This person who never had anything but starts to get sick. They have pneumonia, urinary tract infections, skin diseases like boils and folliculitis, as well as candidiasis, thrush in the mouth and genitals. Something is wrong, and it can be diabetes. What do fungi like? Sugar. And they thrive in warm and moist areas, like the mouth, genitals, armpits, and groin. They usually itch but can also cause pain and local burning. Another common type of infection in diabetics is gingivitis. As high blood sugar levels can also lead to high levels of glucose in saliva, bacteria proliferate. And these bacteria can cause not only gingivitis but also periodontitis, an inflammation of the gums and bones that hold your teeth. Untreated, it can lead to loose teeth and even loss of them. Diabetes is a significant risk factor for periodontitis. It occurs about 3 times more frequently in people with diabetes. So, if you are having many infections, especially in the mouth area, it could be diabetes. Symptom: blurred vision. Can't see well. Is your vision blurry? It could be diabetes. Again, if your blood sugar levels are too high, the sugar in your eyes also increases. And as I mentioned before, if there's sugar, it attracts water there. So, the lens of the eyes swells and changes shape. In this case, the image becomes blurry. For this reason, diabetics sometimes experience blurred vision. By controlling your blood sugar, your eyes will remain healthy. It's worth mentioning, diabetes is one of the leading causes of blindness in adults worldwide and increases the risk of diabetic retinopathy, cataracts, and glaucoma. Symptom: excessive hunger and still losing weight. Diabetes can make you hungrier than usual, especially for sweet and sugary foods, what we call diabetic hyperphagia. The person feels hungry constantly. This happens because the body feels it's running out of energy, increasing hunger and trying to restore that energy. There are also hormonal changes in appetite regulation, especially because high insulin levels affect the hormone leptin, which helps regulate satiety. With low levels of leptin, the person remains hungry even after eating. And even if they eat, they can lose weight. This is because glucose is not utilized and can be eliminated in the urine. And since the body can't use glucose correctly, it tries to find other sources of energy, resulting in the destruction of muscles. The person loses weight and muscle mass at the same time. You breathe a sigh of relief. Phew, no symptoms. I'm not diabetic. Hold on. You can still be diabetic or pre-diabetic. Because diabetes is a silent disease. Often, it shows no symptoms. 1 in 3 diabetics worldwide doesn't know they have the disease. Over 16 million Brazilians have diabetes, and 40 million have prediabetes, which, if untreated, can become diabetes. About 10% of the world's adult population has diabetes. That's a lot. And these numbers keep increasing. In 1980, there were 108 million diabetics worldwide. Today, there are over 537 million. And why is the number of diabetics increasing so rapidly? There's a major factor: obesity. The population has grown a lot in recent years. Mainly due to a change in our eating habits. We eat much more than before, and the food is increasingly processed, low in fiber and high in calories, dyes, and flavorings. The diet is obesogenic, meaning it causes obesity, and obesity causes diabetes.